We are going live, YouTube says. It looks like we're live. So welcome, VOD viewers and everyone else who's out there. We are very privileged to be with Bryan Martin today. Bryan, welcome.
Thank you, Ken.
Bryan is chairman and CTO of 8x8. 8x8 has been around, my gosh, at the beginnings really of video conferencing. And Bryan and I've got some photos that maybe I'll share later, but we've been doing these interviews for at least 16 years, and it's amazing how the technology has advanced, and there's a real need for it today. And put this in context, about a week ago or so, Bryan casually mentioned we were going to have a church group get together on a Sunday, and he casually mentioned, hey, we have this thing 8x8 VC. We could use that, or we could use Google Hangouts, whatever the group wants to do. And I thought, what the heck? Let me see what this thing's about. So I called up Bryan, he answered, and we were on a video chat like this, and it was instant. There was no browser download, no application to download or anything like that. It was real simple, and that's always good. So Bryan, you were telling me about a program you guys have been helping with in Italy to help teachers connect with their students. So why don't we kind of start with that? I know you guys had a press release about that. We'll start with that, and we'll talk about the platform and where things are going.
Yeah, so thank you again for having me on. And yeah, we have been doing this for a long time. It was funny when we were looking for a photo to use, on your YouTube cover for the channel, and you said, I think we did this about, 3 generations ago. And then I saw the photo you actually pulled out, and it was like, no, that's from the beginning of time. Let's not use that one.
I'm looking for that photo as we speak.
I used to have a little more hair. You can see what the video conferencing industry has done to me. Yeah, so we were literally, my phone was buzzing all through our church ceremony, and I finally got outside and could check what was going on. So this was 2 Sundays ago. Organization based in Italy called WeSchool.com reached out to us, and they had been using the open source version of the video platform that we're using here today. And they were running their own instance of it, and they couldn't get it to scale. They were literally having, tens of thousands of classrooms, and it just kept falling over. And so they reached out to 8x8, who's the largest contributor to the open source project, which is Jitsi.org, and said, can you help us? And so we literally spent the rest of Sunday and all of Sunday night and literally the rest of that week helping them get up and running. And the press release we put out this morning has some great quotes from the WeSchool CEO. And basically about 30% of the secondary classrooms in Italy now are running on the WeSchool platform and using this video platform so that the teacher can see all the students can see each other, and they can work in their regular setting as much as things are normal now via video. And so that was a great kind of partnership, and we were so happy to be able to meet their needs. We're getting as our, I think most of the industry, the usage of video has just skyrocketed in the last week and a half. We stood up a dashboard this morning that your viewers can go to. It's 8x8.com/live.
x8.com/live. I'm putting it on a web page as we speak, and I'll share that.
That is not dynamic yet. So the numbers on there as of last night, we're working on getting it real time.
Whoops, I think I got the wrong URL. x8.com? Or is it 8x8?
The number 8, the letter X, the number 8, 3 characters.com.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to go to what I thought it was. So, okay. 8x8.com/live. I have to watch what I'm doing here. There we go. So it should
anyway,
be
as of last night, we had month to date about 1.7 million some odd users, unique users on the platform. This morning, that's already come up. We went overnight in Europe. We're up to 2.2 million. So a lot of usage out there on this platform.
That's incredible. And hopefully the screenshot is showing up on YouTube right now. I should have had the YouTube stream going on my computer so I could see what I'm seeing, but it's incredible, the number of locations too. And this has all just happened in the last 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just, I think people, The funny thing about, I think, video adoption, and you know, I've kind of lived through this my whole career, is we've been fighting all along to find a way to get video to be used by the masses, and for 8x8 in particular in the business world. You know, a lot of people use Apple's tools to do video with their family and friends, but you know, video just hasn't been a day-to-day kind of thing in the workplace. And now that we've all been forced to use video as the only way we can actually keep our businesses going, or keep classrooms going, keep doctors seeing patients that they may not be able to physically get to. I'm hoping this will radically change, you know, the way we work going forward, because people will get hooked on this way of meeting. I know it's been fun to watch all the folks in my house go about their normal lives, but trying to do it via video. And everything from, I think I shared with you, there was a yoga class being taught on the platform, a lot of really cool telemedicine projects that we're working with that I hope to be able to talk to in the near future. There's just, the applications are endless. I think there was a knitting club. Our church is using it for all of their church council meetings, and there's just, you can use the platform in all sorts of really cool ways, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more. I attended a house concert last night that was done on video, so it's, you know, things that you used to do are all now being done behind this pane of glass that we all have in front of us.
That's excellent. Well, I know a couple of anecdotes from mine. One virtual reunion that some of my spouse and her friends are going to do this evening, or we did a micro community broadcast, you know, kind of helping kind of get the word out that we need to kind of organize on a block by block basis to make sure that the seniors are taken care of, and the, you know, kind of matching abilities with the needs, right?
That's awesome. And so one of the things we're trying to do on that page, you'll see tweets coming in from around the world, different languages, but folks that try it and actually have, you know, a neat experience, we'd love if people would share it right there on that 8x8.com/live page, and we'll put it up.
That's great, and I can put that up. I could put it in the, in fact, I'll put it in the live stream right now. So, Bryan, why don't you kind of give us kind of a history of how this project started?
Yeah. So Jitsi as an open source platform actually started way back in 2006. So that team, it's led by Dr. Emil Ivov, who started the project. You know, they've been at this a long time as well. They were part of an organization that was eventually sold to Atlassian. And Atlassian's actually an 8x8 customer as well, so we know them very well. But when they shut down their chat project, they didn't need this video capability anymore. And so 8x8 bought the entire team and the underlying assets from Atlassian back in October of 2017. So they've been part of 8x8 for a little over 2 years, going on 2.5 years now. I know the open source community, when they saw that 8x8 was going to purchase it, was like, oh no, here we go again. They're going to shut it down. They're going to not support open source. But again, 8x8, we've always been both open source, supporters, because we leverage open source wherever we can. But we've also been big around standards and transparency, and served over the years as members of the ITU, and we still work in the various IETF working groups. How to enable this stuff to interoperate, and how to best do video communications from a standards perspective. This is based on a technology called WebRTC, which has also been around quite a while, and Google's probably its largest proponent. WebRTC in its early days was in its infancy, wasn't, in our opinion, at 8x8 mature enough to support enterprise kind of collaboration and communication needs. But around the time we started talking to the Jitsi team, we made a decision that, hey, this stuff is mature enough now, and let's really start putting a lot of R&D into making WebRTC work for the enterprise. And that's how the 8x8.vc service came about. And we're obviously pouring a lot of investment into this. But the really cool thing, because the biggest challenge with video, and what Apple was able to solve, because if you have an iPhone, it just works. The camera's built in, the app is there, and you just run it. In the modern world where everyone's on different devices, everyone's got different operating systems, everyone's got different versions of all of that. The challenge has always been, okay, I have to download something or I have to install an extension to my browser. I got to do this or that. I can't just jump in and be video native to the browser. And that's what WebRTC, enables, is it runs native to the browser experience. We do have a page if you want a dedicated client or you want to get calendar integrations. You can just set up a meeting right from your calendar. There's download.8x8.vc, and all those downloads are there. But to use it, you really don't need anything other than a broadband connection and a web browser that understands WebRTC, which most of the major ones do these days.
And just like that, you also have dial-in capability, and I bet someone was dialing in right now to be on here, which is makes it
I mean, again, the dog will probably bark next, but it's kind of like that's the world we live in now. So I didn't even bother to apologize because people are just
but but it's perfect timing because there's that was one of the things I thought was really neat because not everyone still has a smartphone or a computer and figure it out, but this makes it very accessible. Everyone can dial a phone number, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the majority of what 8x8 does as a company is we supply cloud communication systems. So essentially phone system replacements, contact center, chat, so our customers are businesses that want to get rid of their legacy phone system and they want to have their entire communications powered from the cloud over their existing connections. And that enables them to be able to work from home and pull out their mobile phone on the go and answer as if they were at their desk. And so this becomes, a big part of that platform, because one of the things we're doing, unlike some of the folks in the field who only allow you to connect if you're on a computer, is we have 55 countries with local and toll-free dial-in numbers. So if you only have a phone or access to a cell phone or whatever it is, you can just do the old way. Emil likes to call it the dinosaur way of joining a meeting, which is you dial a phone number, an IVR says, please enter your meeting ID, you type in a 6, 7, 8, 9-digit code, and then you're connected via audio. So we were able to kind of roll that out because we were already in that business globally when we acquired the Jitsi team. And the voice connect, it's the biggest challenge we're having with the schools, to be honest with you, is the situation where not every student has ready access to an internet connection, may not have a laptop or a smartphone at home. It's the big, digital divide problem that everyone's been trying to solve for a number of years. And I don't know that I would want to take a class, via dial-in on a regular telephone line. But if you have nothing else, that's in countries like India, where the internet is relatively hit and miss. We are having discussions with educators over there about how we can support them from just a voice conferencing perspective and just forget the internet and the video and just use dial-in. But again, going back to that world and fax and all the legacy technologies, they do have their place if you don't have access to broadband.
Yeah, and it just yesterday I was on a conference call using this, and it was very useful for whatever reason. A couple of people had to dial in, so yeah, it was useful.
Yeah, and there's it's funny how 8x8 has customers who just without trying to insult anyone, I would there's technical customers out there that you can interact with at one level, and then there's kind of these old school. I know you have a lot of business you do in the Midwest. I would say the Midwest, for whatever reason, has some of the lowest tech 8x8 customers on the planet, and they are still using fax. They are still using like real plastic desk phones, and they want to order the giant sidecars that have rows and rows of buttons so that they can answer any incoming phone call. And there are businesses that are still in that mode. And so we try to cater to both sides. If you're super high tech and you want to do soft phone only and you want to really get into the power of the communications cloud being a platform to drive your business, and do things you couldn't do before. Or if you just want to get rid of that legacy old Avaya box that no one even knows how to administer anymore, and just outsource everything to 8x8, we can make the environment look just like the old Avaya system looked, if that's what you want.
Well, yeah, heard the other day that there was some, I think it was a government agency that only accept faxes or something. I can't remember what this was now, but so that it still exists and it's
I
important.
can tell you our fax traffic has not, we track it over a very long period of time. It is not increasing at if at all, the last time, it's been a while since I looked at it, but it certainly has not decreased. So the number of faxes on the 8x8 network is still constant. So people that are faxing continue to fax.
And for the millennials out there, a fax is something that you put a piece of paper in and it actually copied it, digitized it, and sent it over a telephone line, which
Yeah,
telephone
we at
is a
least
whole
try
nother
to get
thing.
them to you can literally do eFax right off of our mobile client. We try to get them there, but
Oh, that's very cool.
we still support the paper fax if that's what you want. We have a little adapter that you can plug it into. So,
Well, we kind of digress. One of the things I wanted to ask you when you were talking about the internet, and we had a brief conversation about this, I think on Sunday or something, about what's going to happen when you have all these sessions going, and what's been your impression so far of all
yeah.
this
So
traffic?
look, honestly, I give credit to the mobile operators. I give credit to the internet itself. It was built to be a self-healing network. This is what it's designed for, and as far as I can tell, it's doing fine. The problems we're seeing, we interconnect with about 50 carriers around the world who carry our voice traffic to the legacy public switch telephone network. And those networks are getting slammed because you do have people who are suddenly working from home and they're now accessing via their home carrier or their cellular carrier. And there's a lot of traffic out there and there's a lot of instability in those networks. And the difference between a cloud network like 8x8 runs, where we were able to scale as this demand ramped up. I'm not saying it was easy. We had a lot of sleepless nights, but we were able to expand our capabilities. And that legacy fixed network, you can't do it. You have so many ports on a switch, and until you buy and install and start using a new switch, which can take weeks or months, you can't expand network capacity the way we can on the internet in the modern cloud era. And so we're seeing a lot of strain on the public switch telephone network, even here in the US. Certain regions of the US, calls are getting the, call can't connect message, or the old numbers out of service. So that is where I'm seeing the strain right now. But I think the internet and certainly our mobile operators are doing a phenomenal job at enabling everyone to work from home.
And so the broadband, I mean, the fact, and I should look at the stream count on this, or the data rate, but I mean, we're each, transmitting upload of a couple megabits. And are you acting more as a director of that video, or is it going through, your switches?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? In our world, this is what you would consider a peer-to-peer connection, right? It stays on the internet. It never touches anything legacy. Now, 8x8, one of the things we've invented over time is, again, to meet these enterprise kind of quality demands, everything has to work perfectly, even though you're on the public internet, even though your CEO's on a cell phone at I'll pick on Starbucks Wi-Fi network or a Marriott hotel lobby network. We want to make that connection as good as possible. So we do actually dynamically route the media, which is my actual spoken voice or the video you're seeing. We route that through 8x8 controlled networks that we operate in order, for a couple of reasons. One is so we have the analytics on how that connection is. If my video is just going straight to you and never touches us, we actually don't know what the quality of this call is. So we do switch it so that we can be the person in the middle who's monitoring, is this call doing well? And the thing we invented, it goes back to like 2010. We got a ton of patents around it. We have the US trademark on it. It's a technology we call global reach. And what that means is we're dynamically, from call to call, and sometimes even during a call, we will direct the endpoint to actually send its media to a different point on the internet that 8x8 controls, in an effort to route around an issue or in an effort to get you a better connection. And there's a lot of technology behind that. So it's not as easy as it looks, but that's the stuff we worry about, and our customers can just use it, and hopefully it works as well as we can make it work on the connection you're on.
My gosh, you've probably really had to scale up then, right?
Oh
in the
yeah,
last
I
2 weeks?
mean, we're just like literally the dashboard, that 8x8.com/live. That's last night's number, 1.7 million. We're already at 2.2 million today. So you can see just overnight in Europe, another 500,000 active users came on the platform. So yeah, we're scaling, but we're holding it together, and I'm feeling better. 2 weeks ago, I think I was showing the stress of some sleepless nights, and these days I actually got 7 hours of sleep last night. So
Nice.
we're doing well.
Now, the 8x8 logo is up there, and but in a way, you're not really sponsoring this broadcast because you'll do this for anyone, right? So
Correct.
the question is, how do you make money on this? What are your shareholders going to do?
Yeah, so like I said, 8x8 makes most of its money on the provisioning of our voice services. So this kind of phone system replacement. So we are, I think our last guidance for our fiscal year, which ends March 31st, in the range of about 450 million a year in revenue. And that's from paying subscribers who are paying us for access to our full suite of services. The video platform, one of the unique things I think about our service from day one, anyone who's an 8x8 customer who calls another 8x8 customer anywhere in the world, that is one of those, pure internet types of calls, and you get HD, voice, and you could add video to it. You can do a lot of things with it. We've always made those free. So we were believers that if you're on the internet, you're calling someone else on the internet, let's not charge for that call. If someone calls a regular phone number on the public network, then we charge, and we start making money. It's funny because some of the more popular platforms in this space built business models around charging for internet to internet calls, right? So a lot of the conferencing, the popular ones out there are doing that. We kind of think that's wrong because the costs of bandwidth these days and the actual transit charges that we see from switching this, they're not zero, but they're near zero compared to the costs of terminating voice to a carrier in India. And so that's how we view it. And so the way we're going to make money, think of this as a branding exercise. Hopefully people will start understanding what that 8x8 logo means, or who they are, what we do. And we want to encourage them to come and look at the rest of our platform, which you can do at 8x8.com. The free product's great. I mean, we're using it to work seamlessly. But when you think about this product integrated natively into your corporate phone system, so that I can just one click or find anyone in the company, I know their presence, I can chat to them. One of the coolest features we have is I can chat to someone and say, hey, Ken, do you have a minute? And you say, yes. One touch to escalate the chat to a phone call, and then we start talking, and then I can one touch escalate the phone call to a meeting, and we can pull in other people either inside the company or outside the company. A lot of unique integration points you can do when you combine the whole corporate communications kind of spectrum with the meetings capability. So that's how we're thinking about it.
That makes sense. And one of the things I think, being an open source platform, it seems to me, and again, I'm a big proponent and user of WordPress, but they've built this kind of ecosystem, and it started off totally free, right? And Automatic, Matt Mullenweg, has done a great job of creating a managed platform where someone like me, who's self-hosted, has done a lot of neat things, but I can really see the value in having someone else manage it, right?
Yeah, and I think we're very unique. We own all of these underlying technologies. We don't outsource or integrate with other partners for the core services we sell. And because of that, I mean, what you're seeing, and I think the WeSchool example was a great example of this, we're becoming the preferred development platform for communication services. So if you think about, hey, I need to embed some of this into my platform, which is exactly what WeSchool did. 8x8 through that open source mechanism, and through some of the other acquisitions we've done in the last year, we're really trying to turn ourselves into that preferred platform for developers.
And so from a developer standpoint, is it possible to design a plugin for the Jitsi platform that they could offers free, or
Jitsi's been used in fact, there was a company we acquired based in Singapore last year that is basically built they call it a video interaction. So think of a contact center agent who needs to use the customer that they're talking to. They want to access their camera in the field. And so we've got some, someone like Vacasa or HomeAway, Expedia, instead of helping their home renters by rolling a truck, they're actually able to help right out of the contact center by turning that customer's smartphone into a remote camera that they can access and use. And so the company is called WaveCell, based in Singapore, and they used Jitsi to build that. So we were sitting there, trying to acquire the company for other technology they had built. And then we found out they were already using Jitsi and it was already embedded in their platform. It was like, this makes total sense.
That's really cool. I could see all kinds of plug-in potential. I mean, I've already, showered you with a couple of ideas. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is really extensible, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where, you look going forward, I think that's where this stuff is going to go. It's like I said, you're always going to have the low tech customers that want their plastic desk phone. But I think more and more these types of capabilities will get built into either other devices, think Internet of Things, or other platforms, which is what WeSchool is doing. WeSchool doesn't deliver this raw as we're using it to the schools. They wrap a bunch of services around it. How to collect homework and grade homework, and the security you need to make sure your classroom environment virtually is going to be as secure as a physical classroom. There's a lot of things you still want to wrap around the platform. So you can only do that if you've got access to the core Jitsi technology so that you can embed it. And I think a lot of the commercial only offerings that are out there, they're out of the box, they do what they do. And if it doesn't do what you need for your platform, you really can't do that integration.
That makes sense. And is WeSchool then as an Italian company or is it an American company?
They're based in Italia, in Italy. And like I said, they've got already a third of the teachers over there using the platform. So they've seen their side of the things ramp as well.
That's incredible. It's great work that they're doing, and it's great work that you guys are doing. I mean, it just is. I think a lot of things will come out of this once we get to the other side that will change the way things are done. And
yeah, for sure.
And so, Bryan, I always appreciate catching up with you. I don't know if you have anything else on your mind that you wanted to comment on, but
no, I hope in another 10 years you're not passing this photo around.
Well, I have these earmuffs on, so I make you look good. So
awesome,
Bryan. Thank you very much. I'm going to hit the end stream right now, and then we can